Solana should over time outperform ETH, but ETH's got catch up to do, so it's all correct. It will be corrective on that cross, but eventually Solana should outperform it, and Sui should outperform Solana. It's really interesting to see how strong the ETH narrative comes back. And I've been saying it for a while, is like ETH has enormous amounts going for it. And now we've seen this new MicroStrategy's version by Joe Lubin of buying ETH. I also think the financial system uses ETH a lot more. And I think ETH outperforms Bitcoin all the rest of the cycle now. And that's not uncommon. So
if we're right about the ISM, then that's how it should play out.
Phase 2 correction would be this. If it continues to trend sideways or a little bit stronger, that would be a corrective phase when everyone starts thinking it's all over, we'll give up now. And then we should get phase 3, which is the final leg in the dollar, potentially a leg lower in rates, and the more speculative frenzy that comes at the last part of this.
SUI was once considered one of the worst performing assets of the year, with its price falling nearly 60% since January. But the situation began to change in March and April when the token showed signs of a strong comeback. To top it all off, renowned cryptocurrency analyst Raoul Pal shared a very bullish outlook for the token. Looking at SUI's daily chart, Paul believes the cryptocurrency is on the verge of breaking its downtrend and could be poised for a sharp rise. This opinion is corroborated by Capital Fibic, another reputable cryptocurrency trader who points to the formation of a falling wedge on the SUI chart. This pattern often signals a breakout, and if that happens, he estimates the price could rise to around $4.80. But the most promising prediction comes from investment giant Van Eck. The company, which manages over $116 billion in assets, says SUI could increase by more than 350% and reach $10 by the end of 2025. According to Raoul Pal, you will make the most money if you prefer SUI over Solana. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now, let's get back to Raoul Pal's view on Solana and the overall crypto market.
It's not uncommon to get a slight correction. Whether this correction runs further, I think it's just forming a flag.
Well, and also if we zoom in on this, so we come to, by the way, this has been working, as I said to you before the call, this has been working really well. But if we kind of zoom in on the same chart, I don't see why this would work that well, right?
No, it shouldn't be working wiggle for wiggle, but it appears to be right now, which is weird as shit, and I don't trust it.
Yeah, neither do I. But point is that I don't think that this is unusual. And that 13 on the daily doesn't really line up with the other stuff that we're looking at. And here's the other point is yes, Bitcoin's oversold. Yes, overbought. Yes, equities are also overbought. But again, the last 2 times we triggered overbought readings, this was the boring zone. Remember, the long, drawn out boring zone. This was obviously Jan. But in both of these situations, liquidity was draining. And here's an RSI overbought reading, and the market just went higher. It feels much more like this than either of these 2 events. You know what I mean?
So firstly, Bitcoin dominance. This was try to get to the 9. It kind of would have been 9 that day. I put out that tweet saying Bitcoin dominance has peaked, and it peaked. It went up, put in another 9, and I think it's going to continue to fall from here. So that's like the start of the alt season, but really it won't fall until we start getting below this kind of 61.5 level, something like this, 62. If it does that, then the much bigger game is at play, I think. I don't know whether that does, no, we kind of had a trend line here.
Well, if that's right, we just retested and push lower.
That's right. So that's one that's interesting to me.
SUI has garnered significant market interest due to its rapid transactions and developer-friendly approach. Recently trading at $3.50 after reaching an all-time high of $5.35 just 5 months ago, SUI's performance has generated high expectations for the coming years. The SUI blockchain is distinguished by its parallel execution architecture and focus on user-centric decentralized applications. The prominence has put SUI in the spotlight, sparking much discussion surrounding the SWE price forecast for 2026. SWE price forecast for 2026 envisions a potential peak between $5 and $8. To achieve this goal, SWE will need to surpass its previous all-time high of $5.35, an event analysts believe could occur as early as June 2025 if the bullish momentum continues. A breakthrough would require sustained network usage, increased trading volumes, and the continued adoption of decentralized applications based on the SWE network. A key factor in predicting SWE's price in 2026 will be SWE's ability to expand its ecosystem partnerships and attract users and developers from other chains. Given the growing institutional attention and the potential for new listings or integrations, SWE remains well positioned in a rapidly evolving digital asset market. The expansion of the DeFi sector, coupled with the rising demand for NFT apps and games, could serve as additional growth catalysts. In short, while past performance is never a guide to future results, the SWE price forecast scenario for 2026 reflects both substantial upside and significant support. A range of $5 to $8 is possible under favorable market conditions, and continued network innovation will play a central role in performance. Thanks to SWE's technological advancements and strong community support, market participants continue to closely monitor the market, especially as the next cryptocurrency presale rounds approach. Paul dismissed the idea that Bitcoin's surge is tied to predictable halving events every 4 years. Rather, he argued that markets behave according to long-standing patterns of leverage and liquidity consistent with what he calls the banana zone phases of a financial cycle. They roll over debts. They do the same thing, Paul explained. In each phase, we have the first banana zone phase, then a correction, then a second, another correction, and finally a third. Paul cautioned investors against complacency, especially since the next corrective wave could be brutal. He warned against the use of leverage, FOMO syndrome, or losing access to one's portfolio, emphasizing that emotional decisions often lead to losses in these phases of hypervolatility. Based on Paul's macroeconomic models and signals, he estimates that the current bull cycle will extend into the first or even second quarter of 2026. He attributes this to the lengthening of the economic cycle due to high interest rates and a prolonged delay in liquidity response, citing the convergence of technical analysis, macroeconomic indicators, and investor sentiment. Paul expressed his deep conviction that the cryptocurrency bull market is just beginning. His final piece of advice was simple but firm. Keep going, keep the faith, keep building, and don't waste anything. Paul also revealed that Bitcoin dominance has reached its cyclical peak, indicating a potential inflection point in the cryptocurrency market. Paul's analysis suggests that technical signals, including the DeMark highs, point to a potential reversal of Bitcoin's market share, which has been steadily increasing since December 2024. Although he did not specify the exact DeMark indicators used, popular indicators such as the TD sequential could have played a key role in identifying this peak. Despite the recent growth in Bitcoin dominance, the current peak is lower than the 2021 high, 73.63%, which in turn is lower than the 2017 peak. This indicates a long-term trend toward weakening Bitcoin's market dominance.